Hey everyone,
Hi.
this is David Karapetyan, Vanessa Zahorian, co-artistic directors of Pennsylvania Ballet Academy, and welcome again on one of our conversations. This time it's going to be a little bit different. So if you remember last time after Yuan conversation, principal ballerina with San Francisco Ballet, I mentioned our next conversation probably should be about injuries and just speaking in general about the dancers going through injuries and their recovery, which is a really important thing because unfortunately it is part of our profession, and sometimes you can't even ignore this.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. The best of the best. It happens to us all. And if you're lucky, it doesn't happen to you.
Yes. So today's conversation is going to be with Lisa Giannone. She's a wonderful friend of ours, an incredible physical therapist, and maybe Vanessa can go a few things.
Yes. Also, she's preventative. So it's you see her for preventing injuries and maintenance, and she gets you back to your excellent top quality or top form, back to performance. So, not only students, professionals, and we're so thankful for her being in our lives, when we were at San Francisco Ballet. So we thought it would be great today to talk with her and have a discussion. So I just wanted to, say a little bit about Lisa. So Lisa Giannone, she is a national recognized orthopedic and sports physical therapist, an expert in sport performance and training. Lisa brings a highly mechanical, unique engineering approach to the field and is a master at defining the source of a problem and making mechanical diagnosis. She has working theories for some of the hardest problems in orthopedics, which has led her to craft training-based treatments to these problems. Having been in-house with the San Francisco 49ers, Lisa continues to consult with collegiate and Olympic athletes, NFL, NBA, and MLB players.
I believe also with LPGA. In fact, I know that because she was helping Julie Inkster, one of the stars of LPGA, and in fact we golfed with her, so I know that she worked with her as well for her elbow injuries.
And Lisa also runs the West Coast most well-known dance medicine and training practice and serves as San Francisco Ballet's rehabilitation and conditioning specialist. Lisa has brought her hammer performance conditioning regime in-house at the world-renowned SF Ballet School, crafting it especially for the physical demands and needs of professional dancers in that setting. And so firsthand, we know that she does work with San Francisco Ballet dancers on a very regular basis and is really in tune to how their mechanics work on stage and out of performance mode and in just rehearsal. So she's just very good and in tune with all of that.
Yeah, so we are excited to have her with us, and I think I just saw her. She's waving at us, and also I'm so excited to speak about Hummer and see how she is doing, and I am sorry, I'm gonna say this when we're not talking to her. I'm sorry that we're not taking your Hummer quite often. So
but actually I follow along. I've done it now twice. We have a baby, so it's difficult with a 2-year-old running around, but
I have no excuses.
But I took it and I love it, and everybody should take it.
Anyways, let's talk with Lisa. Let's connect with her. This will be exciting. Let's see.
It's been a while since we've seen her. At least me. It's been.
There she is. Oh my God, look at you. Hello, beautiful.
Look at this beauty.
How are you? I heard you guys talking about Hammer that you're so sorry.
I know. I am. Hang on. Are you in Napa?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
I miss it.
Look at that setting with her beautiful hair and. And wait, did you just do a workout this morning? Oh my God.
I have a blow dryer next to me.
Perfect. I remember we stayed there.
I finished probably, I don't know, 10 minutes ago or something. I'm like, yeah, guys, okay, I gotta go.
And you're not even tired. It's just amazing.
How long was that workout?
It was only 95 minutes.
Only.
Wow, wow, wow.
But
Hey,
it's the best.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. So thanks, Lisa, for having this and want to talk to us. And I mean, you've been in our lives and careers and helping for so many years,
Yeah.
and we
So
can't be enough thankful to you for keeping us on our toes and feet on our hands and everything.
mhm.
Yes. Yes.
But first of all, I want to ask you this, Lisa. How are you and everything handling this pandemic, going with, what's happening with the world? How is it, you know, affecting to people coming and seeing you for their injuries and stuff? And how did everything?
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it's been interesting for sure. Completely different world. And we're an essential service. So after closing for about 5 days, it came clearly to our attention that like, no, you're supposed to be open. You need to be open. You need to deal with people that are in need. It's orthopedics, sports injuries. I mean, lots of these, it's not life and death, but if people are just post-op or they're struggling or suffering with something, the idea is like you need to be available. So we have been open throughout. We had I've done a hefty dose of virtual uh, physio, if you will, which I thought would not work at all because I'm thinking, how's that possible? And it certainly misses an element, right? Because you do need to put your hands
Mhm.
on someone to feel
Right,
Right.
right,
what's going on and to change the picture. But it's
right.
interesting how much I was able to accomplish by talking to people virtually, and still can do that for the people that are concerned. I mean,
Hmm.
I
That's
really,
great.
just like I would take you guys and make you demo some things to see what hurt where.
Mhm.
So you can do a lot. I think it takes a very experienced PT to do that, though,
Right.
to make some calls on what to do. And
Well, the best, yeah. I mean,
because
you.
you guys know well that I believe that movement and exercise and therapeutic exercise and training is so nuanced that to think that you could just explain it or give a piece of paper and that people could do it right,
Right.
it
This is
doesn't
also
happen, right?
something that we were struggling too with, it's the hands-on, exactly
Yeah.
what
Right.
you're saying, and going into the or going virtually with the
Hmm.
kids, especially the ones who are very young, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
having them understand what we're trying to get our point across. The
Right.
older ones were a little bit,
Easier.
easier, but yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, it's, or we can
But
imagine how.
you've got your instructions. This is where your your time on the planet, the amount of reps you've taken, right? How much experience you have really does the trick, because it's really how can I communicate to you this position, right? How do
Right.
I
Hmm.
give you cues? Pick
Hmm.
up your chest, engage your back, think about reaching through your arms. I mean, I
Yeah.
think you're really good at talking people through motion, and that's not easy to do,
No.
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Right.
Hmm.
So you have to really know it, and you also have to have felt it. So you
Hmm.
guys
Yes.
have that in spades. I mean, you've been
Mhm.
amazing professionals, so you could explain, but it's tricky.
Yeah,
So
it
Yeah.
is tricky. It is tricky.
that's gone on, and we're functioning fairly normally at this point. Oh, sorry, something went flying by.
Uh-huh.
um,
Good, good.
uh, you know, big change in the clinic from what you guys, lots of spacing, remove equipment. We moved
Mm.
the garage for treatment. Thank goodness we've got a whole
Good. Yeah, you have
really
a big space there. That's
Right.
perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and
good.
So
the other I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
no, I was gonna say the garage came part of the PT section.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
sounds
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We're
perfect.
having to spill to see the volume that we see are the needs to meet the needs of the people that want to come in.
Right.
You've got limited slots, right? So
Yeah.
having that space is great. And I
And
Hmm.
you guys are always packed. Your
Right.
your facility is always
Very
packed.
busy.
So I,
yeah,
I can't imagine those people who are like, and they just had the surgeries or whatever, and they're trying to PT, come back and.
right.
Mhm.
And people are concerned naturally. So we've done a good job, separating things out, and and making space
Mhm.
and effective, and patients are comfortable. So that's good. That's good. There's still
Perfect.
lots of space at the garage. I've appointed it so it's instant studio though for
Yeah.
play. boxing,
It's
and
true. It's true. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you guys have everything there, which is amazing, you know, and like Vanessa was mentioning, you know, you've seen so many throughout your life, you know, so many sports, you know, athletes and from NFL, NBA, MLB, and LPGA, you know, and work with their injuries. But I want to ask you, and this is related to the dancers, right?
yeah,
So like what, I mean, I was saying earlier that, you know, it's unfortunately it's part of our profession, you know, that you get hurt, you know, because we are so physically active and putting so many hours in the rehearsal studios and then on stage, and you know, it gets over the time, you know, the wear and tear, and then somehow just explodes from somewhere.
right, right.
And I want to ask you, Lisa, what are the most injuries that you see from the dancers, you know, coming to you?
Um, well, let's see. I mean, there's a variety, right?
Or
There's
if we could
so many.
separate like the men and the
Well,
females.
so the men, I'd say more spines, as you know well.
I
Uh,
do.
shoulder instability, right? From overhead. You know, you get your share of knee stuff, occasionally an ACL, not a ton, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
patellofemoral disease, wear, tear, patellar tendon
Uh-huh.
issues from jumping, landing.
Jumping, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Lifting and all that.
Achilles, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and I'd say for the women, you know, again, it's a little similar. You get spine, but lots of hip.
Achilles.
Yeah, well,
Mm-hmm.
Achilles for sure. Achilles, foot and ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So posterior tib,
Mm-hmm.
paralysis, that sort of
Knee
disability.
pain.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
big toe, first toe,
Yes. Bunions.
arthritis, the
Mm-hmm.
bunion sort of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hip, lots of hip.
Hips, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Labral tear, a little bit of osteoarthritis. The thing with you guys, right? You're designed to move the way you move, so lots of mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Self
Right.
select
Mm-hmm.
Right.
for the event. But what people don't really appreciate is with that comes its share of issues that are based on being kind of floppy, sloppy, mobile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you get issues based on being unstable. You know, too much motion at your spine, and you got to be able to hold it. Motion at your shoulders, and you got to be able to hold it. Hip,
Right.
every joint really, and it's the key. Sometimes is how do you figure out how to activate and stabilize that joint, not make it stiff, not reduce,
Mm-hmm.
but as I would tell you guys, like how you can really learn to motor your joint,
Mm-hmm.
control the motion, carve the motion,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big.
So Lisa, when did you actually start to work with ballet dancers or contemporary, you know,
Oh
when
gosh,
was that?
probably 20 some years ago. Probably
And
20.
was that also like a challenge for you to figure out what dancers needed, you know, like, or is it always ongoing? Like, do you find that you're just always learning from the injuries and figuring out, you know, on the standpoint, or you know
Well,
what I mean?
that's interesting because I think, you know, I remember, and I've probably told you that story. Like, um, I worked in the NFL, still work with the NFL a lot,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and you know, working with you guys, and there would be, you know, people on the inside that would be like, well, she, if she doesn't dance, she doesn't know how to treat dancers. You know, it's like she can't do it. She wasn't a dancer,
Mm-hmm.
can't do
Mm-hmm.
it. But she's a big NFL type, you know, PT, and I'm like, wait a minute, how could you assume that I could understand the NFL? I don't do that. But one
Right.
thing is, you know, the one thing is you've got to be able to analyze movement and understand movement.
Right.
That is my expertise. That's my training.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you could show me this bothers me in this way, and I could figure out, you can't shock absorb load. That's what the problem is. So we need to work on that. What I think is interesting and different and tricky is that you do have to learn the personalities and the culture of dance, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, that took me some time to get used to. You know, I don't say strengthening to you guys
Mm-hmm.
much. There's a little, especially to the women. we talk more about more subtle concepts of activating muscle, engaging,
Mm-hmm.
holding. You say strengthening to a female, and they're like, I don't want to get bulky, which it wouldn't
Oh,
happen
do you
anyway.
remember all the times I was like, Lisa, I'm afraid to do the bicycle because I
Yeah,
don't want to get big thighs for a ballet dancer. You know, it's this faux pas. It's this like, people think that you're gonna, you run, you get big thighs, you do the bicycle, you know, and you're like, Vanessa, no, this is
yeah,
for me. This is for the recovery, and I always trusted and had faith in you that you were, and you did. You, in the end, I was like, I should have, yeah, I should not have put that stigmatism, you know?
right, right. And I think dancers do that. They've got this set of beliefs that are old, that's been carried on, and it's
Hmm.
starting to fall away a little bit, but and obviously the depth
I
of
think it's
connection.
important to cross train. I think that
Yes,
this is what
Yes.
dancers need right now. And
Right.
I
right,
think that ballerinas are thinking, oh, no, I would never do this, you know? But
Well, that was before. I think it's different right now because
Mhm.
everybody, sees the results and sees in their body and in their dancing how much it's affecting, and helping, for their careers. I mean, I can speak for me, just, like I when I came to you first time, do you remember? I was like, oh my God,
yeah,
what are we doing here? Because it was my pretty much first time going to a physical therapy, getting my back hurt, and I was like, oh, this is gonna ruin me. But and then, after like a week and 2 weeks working with you, and I was like, oh my God, I was like a new person,
Mhm.
because we didn't understand, like you
yeah,
said, the flexibility. Yes, we have a lot of flexibility and the stronger muscles, which both combined, it's a fantastic, it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And we don't
right,
understand that, over the time we can weaken it, and we don't understand, we think we are strong, because we
right,
can do
right.
all that stuff, but essentially, our muscles can get weaker, and just giving that stabilization, working not even with weights, not even with, a lot of things. All you need to do, just holding a position, or just
It's your
in
own
Yeah,
body. Yeah.
exactly, but
Mhm.
in a correct way. And we don't know that, that how to
Yeah.
right.
make that exactly, to be.
Yeah.
And that's why, it's so effective, for the dancers. And
And I think also the ballet is very anaerobic, you know, and I think we need aerobic. We need to really just get to that point that helps the stamina of the dancer and to that full performance of a performance. Because it's very aerobic, you know, a
Mhm.
full length ballet. How do you sustain your muscles, and how do you not cramp? How do you,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Stamina, you need a lot of stamina for
right?
this,
Wait, it's amazing. You guys have learned well.
Oh
You've
God, we
drunk the
learned from the
drunk
best.
place. Yes.
we did. I mean,
I was so stuck.
imagine. I mean, she's lucky. I mean, she didn't have a lot of injuries. I mean, I was there in a
A lot of
company
time
for
together.
13 years. You've seen me
13
13 years coming
Yeah.
to active care. I had shoulder labor tear, and I had neck injuries. I had
Bulging
back
discs,
Yeah.
herniated discs, and I
surgery,
had a surgery on my back. Both hips arthritis. I had
patella
patella
tendon,
tendon,
Yeah.
plantar fascia. I mean,
Achilles.
Yeah.
you just name it. I
But
mean,
then, but Lisa was the person to go to, and
yes.
I mean, you're just amazing because we knew that once we go to you and you figure out what's weak. There's a weakness. There's somewhere that's not firing, and so
Yeah.
you were like, okay, we need to start firing that. And I always knew that, and I'm sure you felt the same, that within a month we could get back to, or even going 2 times. I
Yeah,
felt like
the
just to
results is
fire
incredible.
those,
Yeah.
you know, muscles, it would help so much.
I
Well, I think
always,
I was
sorry, I
gonna
was gonna say, like, I was so fascinated always when I come to you and you're evaluating, what's good, what's bad, or what you need to do to figure out, oh, this person on this side is weaker on the other side. So that means you're compensating a lot of the things. That's why
Mhm.
you're getting, too much work on one side than the other.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
And
Hmm.
I think that's kind of the name of the game. I think lots of times people take the oh, sit down.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You know me, I don't like that approach. Now, and then people feel that that's irresponsible or like aggressive, but it's not really it. It's really thinking through. Look at, we have to rest this. Yeah, that's inflamed. That's in trouble. How do we put that to the side? But how do we start rebuilding or preparing, building around? So as that's recovering, and we're waiting to go after that, the rest of the body is in the game. It's prepared, working. Most people don't want to sit down as their treatment, right?
Right. Well, a lot of the students, they don't understand that. We have a lot of students that think, or they're whoever they're seeing is telling them, their doctor, oh, just rest, rest, rest. And then they come back and they're in the same place that they were.
Or worse maybe, right?
Yeah.
Now you're a little bit more unengaged,
right,
or conditioned for it. So, to me, and I think that's why athletes and dancers have liked me, is because I take that approach of what can we do, not we don't focus on the like what can't we do. That's easy, everyone can figure it out. Sit down for a while, but again, that doesn't prepare you. That just maybe rests a tissue, but it also digs another hole. So I'm always trying to figure out how what's with the machine, what's broken, what's in place, where are we, how do we make a plan to rest one part and rebuild and better at the end and more durable and more ready for the challenges that you're going to expose to, right? So you talked about cross training. I think, of course, I'm all about that. I heard you mention that San Francisco Ballet now. Gosh, we're probably in our 7th year of doing that, as well as a lot of ballet companies and stuff. But I think also that people need to really understand what cross training is. And you also spoke to, I think you have to start working with me or for me. You got the script down like crazy. But you're right. And it was Kelly that said, my dancers, they have horrible stamina. And, I said, that's right. But I think, we really have to work on that. It doesn't get on a bike and pedaling against resistance up a hill. It's the subtlety of how do you take your bodies and expose you to a good cardiovascular load that's similar to what you do, but not exactly what you do, because we don't want to just run the engine on one path always. How do you strengthen weights, big equipment? You
hang on, Lisa.
guys mentioned that too. How do you, was that? Did we lose you? But I was saying,
a little bit.
how am I there?
You're there. You're there.
You came. Yeah, you're fine.
We were like,
Okay. No, but I was saying about stamina for sure. But it's how do you create? What is a good cardiovascular load for you guys? And I truly believe the better your cardiovascular shape, the more tolerance you have for everything, right? The more injury durable you are, the more capable you are. Run out of gas, you're vulnerable to more injury, right? You should be able to do your ballets like, shoot, that wasn't that hard.
like
right?
it was nothing. Exactly.
And then in strengthening, I really like to pick that apart, because strengthening, people go, oh, grab weights, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And you mentioned it, David, it's really about body weight. It's about engaging and holding. Find your upper back. Find your muscles. Find your core that's all the way around, front, back, side. Find your hips. Find your rotators. Find your glutes. Find your quads. Hold safe, hard as could be.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you bulky. It's the perfect sort of work for your bodies, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's interesting because, like it's the same, like holding positions, how effective can be in a longer run. And also that comes to when we teach to the students, when we tell them, you need to repeat this exercise for so many times, or holding that position. And why do we tell them holding in a position? Because they're going to develop, stronger muscles. They're going to understand, how to hold that leg over there. And then it's going to get into their, mind and muscle memory, how to do it next time. And
Yeah.
a lot of the people don't understand, you know, they think that they can be a little bit boring, just holding position, stabilizing it. You know, they want to just move on and go forward, but they don't understand that their bodies are not going to tolerate longer run, because, you know, you're going to get in a point, you learn that, but you don't know how to do it, how to use that.
And
You know,
repetition and repetition,
exactly.
like over and over and over,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know,
And
holding it.
I'll do that. I'll do that with my work and workouts with people, because I say, look, this is about mastery. It's not about me entertaining you, you know. And we'll make it entertaining. I'm going to tell you every single thing about what you're doing and why, and how your muscles are firing. And you know, you can tell your students the reason you hold is because it's setting a neuromuscular pattern, and the longer you hold, the more fibers of that muscle are
Yeah.
coming into place. So now you're not using a little bit of your muscle tissue, you're using all of it. That gives you power, that gives you something available to use when it's time to rock and roll and move, right? So
Yep, and that's so true. You always communicated with us. You
Yeah.
always made us feel comfortable when we're in there and we're going through the process, and that is positivity.
And just understand, you know, how to do these things. You know what's going to be the benefit of it. You know, but you know, I was. Yeah, go ahead.
What are you doing, and why are you doing it? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? How do you execute? That's people skim over that. They skim over it like, oh, I know how to do a plank. Oh, I know how to do a squat. And I always say, okay, let me take you through one or two, okay?
Right. Let
me give you some thinking points.
Right.
How
because it's so true. You can do things wrong, incorrectly, like lifting weights, and it can hurt you worse, you know, your injury. And so it's very important to communicate that.
Yeah, or it just doesn't pay off, right?
It's true.
Right.
It's true. You can do, you know, years and years, but you don't see the results that you're looking for.
If you're gonna bother, I always say, if you're gonna bother spending the time, if we're gonna do it, why don't we do it 100%?
Right.
Like how I feel after your class that I take, the hammer. Oh my gosh, I know I will get results because I feel so accomplished. Yes, it's a long class, but I'm like.
Speaking of hammer now, I mean, I remember from the beginning when you start the classes and all that. So tell everybody, you know, what was the inspiration to that hammer workout, and how did you start it? And then you start to get into more broad, and exercises were just coming out of your mind, you know, how did you start it?
Okay, well, I think a lot of the motivation is my own personal interest and commitment to going crazy and hard since I was probably 17. Being a long distance runner, and like I like to push every day. So, you know, I make up stuff that like, wow, that was hard, that was good, and it was clean, i.e. that was really good work. I studied that stuff, so I know how to move. I know what's going on with every movement. I know what I'm trying to create. I started to put those kinds of things into rehab too, because when you're rehabbing professionals, it's great to get them range of motion and turn their muscles on and get them strength. But how do we get from there to the stage? How do we get from there to a boxing match, to a professional golfer like Julie, to Jerry Rice? So I can't just give them back to the team. I can't send you guys back to work like, well, they're strong, they have range. We have to then go through a series of, can you coordinate motion? Can you explode? Can you absorb? Can you push yourself sideways? Can you repeat the pattern? Can you engage and control from there? Do you compensate? Do you move? Can you execute movement in all planes? Really, if I could take you through that, that's part of my rehab. Then I could very confidently send you back to your company, to your team.
Exactly. And that's what you always did. You always made sure that we were ready.
Ready, exactly.
100%.
Look at they're ready, and then let the professionals take over, right? In terms of your technique. So with hammer, it's just like I started to just kind of play with that and link together, and I also thought, like, I'm a runner, I just go straight forward. I gotta be able to move. I condition in other planes, so I started creating that, and like, wait, what do you do for a workout? I want to do that with you. So they started following me around in my workouts, and then it was 5 people, and it was 10 people, and it was 25 people, and it was 45 people. And then I said in the garage because I was doing it in my living room and active care and out on the Marina Greens. So it's that sort of how it's grown. And then
do you remember how
really
you started in this little studio? Remember?
Well, no,
Wasn't
I
that
think
over there?
no, I think first
Yeah, in her living room. Yeah.
you started.
first my living
Was that
room.
the living room, and then you went to the
Yeah.
Presidio studio, right?
Yeah, then, exactly. Yeah, then I went there. That was the crusher on that concrete. And
Yeah,
then the building
I
right
know.
active care came up. And so I'm like, I'm gonna grab that thing. Thousands
Right.
Yeah, it's
put a
prime.
front floor, throw mirrors in, and that was great. And now that's grown into the whole building that's the garage.
Yeah.
But it really, what happens is I kind of then back into it and say, this is actually really brilliant training. Like, you're driving your heart rate hard, which is the stamina endurance. You're burning a bunch of calories if you care about that. It's going to lean you out. You're working through every plane that the body moves through. You're activating almost everything across every joint. You're teaching the muscles to hold. You're teaching the muscles to accelerate, to decelerate, to create force. All of a sudden, it's like the perfect, well-rounded work.
And also, Lisa, you've evolved too, because I remember taking it way back in the beginning and taking it now after 2-3 years, right? And you've evolved to a very modernized, like what people need is, I don't know, like I think that approach is very, very modern, very what's happening, what should be the now, right? I don't know. I think it's just
She experiments everything on her body and sees what's effective, I'm sure, right? And then you're like, oh, hang on, this is gonna be good, and then you start being more creative, using different stuff, which is
when
incredible.
I hear your music playing on the radio, I want to like work out. It's like, so catchy. I love it.
That was yeah.
I know.
I love it. I just want to break it up.
A couple other things that happened during the pandemic too. One, I really developed the second version of Hammer Focus, which is not a bouncing event at all. The dancers really love this because I'm always going to get a calorie burner, right, and a cardio event. But it's really about focus. It's really about very deliberate holding, activating, engaging.
We should try it.
Definitely should try it. Super high focus, core, quads, glutes.
Is that what you were teaching for SFB school?
What's that?
Was that you were teaching for SFB school?
Well, the SFB is the master hammer, the classic version. That's more movement oriented. That Yuri Poznikov, by the way, takes all the time now. He loves
it. Really?
Yeah, the movement.
Good for him.
Movement one. I like that movement one. But it's the movement based one that you're used to. But during the pandemic, I imposed the hammer focus on SFB too, because, and I've changed the master hammer a bit, because I'm talking to people all over the world, literally. I've had people from all over the world. We've had like 350 people in class. So I know where they're jumping on a surface that I'm not sure about for an hour and a half, right? So there's a lot of, jump around, then boom, into squat, dynamic squat, then into a little boxing, but you get great cardio, work everywhere, and not jump. Yeah. And then a kind of a jumpy one, and then a dynamic plank event. And then that's up. So I've taken out probably a third of the impact through your skeleton in the hammer class. And then in the focus class, really, there's no skeletal, i.e., people are not. So you're getting amazing work, but you're really preserving your bones and your joints. Because again,
so the combination is probably really great.
Yeah,
really.
I'm sure
for the dancers, especially. I mean, I think for everybody, but
when are we bringing it to your school.
I know. I was just gonna say,
We
I was
want
just
to.
gonna say, we have to get you here to work with the kids and so introduce,
We've been
and
trying.
even maybe some parents, would, in fact, I know a lot of parents do some cross training and stuff, maybe we can get into the Hummer,
Yeah.
the parents can try it and see, how incredible this,
Mhm.
workout is and how effective is, for your even daily life, after workout, you just go out and you feel like you can fly, basically.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, I
Yeah.
always just feel so good after it, and
Very,
for
very
the whole
very
week
empowering.
too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Your
good.
body just gets strong and light, and
Yeah.
you feel like good about it, when you leave the workout.
Yeah.
Even though I used to leave a little sooner because I was chickening out, but
Yeah.
but that was from the longest workout because it was a couple hours,
2
right?
hours, I
Yeah,
think,
the
right?
2 hour one was, oh my God,
But you're right. It's got a big mental component to it. I think because
It's a mental, yeah, totally.
I've got such good feedback over this period too because of all these live everywhere and lots of dancers taking it
Mhm.
from principal dancers, solos from all over the world, but the sense that they get pushed a little further than they think they can, but then they do it. Like,
Mhm.
oh my God. So that being able to be that physically big
Yeah.
shows like I have more tolerance than I thought. I have more ability than I thought.
Yeah.
It's very mentally empowering too.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so that's great.
So
Yeah.
great.
What I don't need to come out there. There's this virtual thing happening.
I know. You know what is interesting is like it's amazing how you can there's always this positive from this virtual, and I feel like we've learned a lot and in a positive way, and I think that you're probably witnessing the same thing. You're able to expand and reach people that would never have ever been able to explore this. So
Yeah.
it's really wonderful that the dance world, and I'm just speaking from the dancer's point of view, the dance world is able to have somebody like you in their classes and like this worldwide ballet classes and having this opportunity to open it. I think it's wonderful.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this starting September, Lisa. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be really, really fun. And
Maybe we could do
and it's
something virtual.
absolutely, yeah. And this could be so much, educational for the students and for us, just the work you do, how it's gonna affect into their professional or ballet or anything that we do for becoming a professional dancers, right, for our students. So I think it'll be really great for them to experience this and try it out and see how good it's gonna be, for their
Because
positions and
we've
posture.
definitely been talking about it. Remember, Lisa,
Right,
back
yeah.
I was texting with you and I was like, Lisa, we gotta bring this to our summer intensive, or we have to incorporate it. And we were ready to fly you out, and then this pandemic, but we can make it happen.
We learned a lot. I guess all of us learned, how to make things work virtually and stuff. I thought it wouldn't be possible, but look. I mean, I think it opened so many other doors that we never even thought about. So
right. It's true. It's true. Yeah, it's great. There's definitely some big positives. I mean, I'm really pleased with what's gone on with the hammer training stuff. The way it exactly has been able to go all over the place. That's been fantastic for sure. Yeah.
It's so good. We're so happy for you. It's really great.
Yeah.
And it's so good to talk to you.
I know, really, really, really fun. And thanks for connecting with us.
To see your pretty face.
I know, we miss you so much, Lisa.
Wait, I'm gonna
How's your family?
They're good. I was gonna pull my girls over, but they're all in bikinis. I won't do that right now.
We have a visitor here too.
Hey, Isabella.
Our visitor just woke up.
Okay, here. You want to say hi?
No.
Okay, no. All right.
So cute.
She just woke up from her nap. She's not happy.
No.
She's a little groggy.
I'm gonna propose one thing for you guys.
Go ahead.
In your school, very easily. Are you guys working now? I mean, are they in summer or are you off summer?
We are starting our
Next
summer
week.
Monday.
Our second summer.
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
Okay. So you need to find a slot in there, and we'll do a hammer focus conditioning, and I'll talk to them for 5 minutes, and because they need to know that you cannot proceed wise without very specifically preparing the body. And it's your kind of preparation, and it's my kind of preparation, right? Both of those go hand in hand for the best result. But the other thing is, I think we should create an open invitation to your community and the parents, and we'll pass them all the Sunday codes.
That's awesome.
That would be incredible.
So cool.
And
So
actually,
cool.
speaking of, I know a spot already for our second week on Friday instead of the contemporary.
Oh yeah.
So we do have a spot that we can actually reserve for you, and you can come on and talk, and we can do it.
We'll do it.
Yes, definitely.
We can do it. Yeah, that would be, what is it, the 18th, or I'm not sure what.
The second Friday.
Yeah, the second.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'll let you know. I will let you know. I'll send you a text, when exactly is, and we make it work. That would be incredible. Thank you so much.
And we want to try your you were talking about the focus. I want to try that. I really want to do it. The focus.
I have a very good website. Finally, I had some, the young people like, let's fix the garage so it's easy. So if you do, well, you guys can always text me anytime. I'll just send you the code. Those are Mondays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock.
Okay, the focus class?
Yeah, Monday, Thursday.
Okay.
About, it's 1 hour, but it's really 64 minutes, right?
Okay.
So, but
okay.
Go ahead.
Awesome.
Yeah. I will text you. You let us know, and then we can try it.
All right, you guys.
That'd be fantastic.
Love seeing you guys.
Thank you. You too, Lisa. We love you very much. Take care. Stay healthy. Give our love to your family.
Yeah, thanks for all your advice and everything.
We
love you.
Love you too.
What?
Bye.
Bye. Virtual hug.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye. Thank you, Lisa. All right, guys. This was incredible. So if you were watching, how much, Lisa had to say about injuries and how you need to understand your body to prevent getting hurt. And that could be athletes or dancers. Our bodies pretty much work the same way. And this was really great conversation with her. And we are going to post this video on our social media. So go and watch everything. If you have any comments, please write it down, either for us or for Lisa. We can forward it, and hopefully we can answer everything that you will ask us. So stay tuned. This was great, and we'll come up with some other interviews with interesting people regarding dance, and we'll go from there on. All right, so you have a good one. Be safe, everyone. And we're starting our second summer intensive Monday. For 2 weeks we're going to be busy teaching our students, so I hope to see you in the studios. Bye-bye.